Over the last year, wireless CarPlay adapters haven't just got faster, they've matured. Since my last top 5 roundup, this category has shifted heavily towards 2-in-1 adapters, better configuration menus, smaller and more discreet designs, and newer Wi-Fi generations becoming more common. We're also seeing better multi-device support, more reliable GPS pass-through on both CarPlay and Android Auto, and in some cases generally useful tuning options like audio delay controls that actually improve input lag and audio playback performance. In my top 5 wireless adapters in 2026, every adapter was reset, updated to the latest firmware, and tested in the same vehicle under the same conditions. I measured the time between cold boot to launch screen, Bluetooth pairing time, total time into CarPlay and Android Auto, call return delay, touch input responsiveness, Wi-Fi signal stability, thermals after 25 minutes and 1 hour of use, and GPS pass-through and instrument cluster support using Apple Maps in CarPlay. So this top 5 list isn't just based on specs, it's based on repeatable real-world testing and how these adapters behave once you stop thinking about them and just live with them. So let's start with 5th place and work our way up to the best wireless CarPlay and Android Auto adapters I've tested this year. In 5th place is the MSXTTLY mini adapter. This adapter is a solid performer that just misses out on climbing higher due to a couple of practical limitations. It has a small thumb drive sized form factor, excellent call return delay, and average but consistent touch input responsiveness. Boot and pairing performance is strong in both CarPlay and Android Auto. It supports full GPS and navigation pass-through in both platforms and features a rather limited IP config menu. Thermals are reasonable for a plastic case design. Its Wi-Fi performance sits firmly in the middle of the pack despite its dual band setup, so at its mid-range price, that keeps it in 5th place. Taking 4th place is the Linkifun RGB Nano, and this remains one of the strongest all-rounders in the list. It delivers solid performance across both platforms with excellent call return delay and generally good responsiveness. Boot performance is its standout strength. It's one of the fastest into CarPlay and Android Auto, very similar to the Play iBox from last year's roundup. It supports GPS and navigation pass-through on both platforms, comes in a very small discrete form factor, and it's priced competitively. The main compromise is its Wi-Fi performance. It runs on a Gen 2 platform and places itself towards the lower end of my signal performance test. Once connected, touch input lag is slightly weaker than the top 3 adapters in this list, but still, if you want quick boot up speeds, simplicity, and a small form factor design, it's an easy recommendation. In 3rd place is the Bruxe U2 wireless adapter, and this is one of the most interesting adapters in the lineup. Its compact size and centrally mounted USB connector make it particularly versatile for cars with awkward or recessed USB ports. Build quality is excellent with solid materials that not only feel durable, but also help it run cooler than many of its competitors. Like the top 2 adapters, the Bruxe U2 features a highly configurable IP config menu, including the desirable audio delay setting, which immediately puts it ahead of many of its rivals. It uses a Gen 6 Wi-Fi chipset like the top 2 adapters in this list, although raw signal performance is slightly weaker in my signal test. As a result, its boot speed isn't the fastest in this top 5. However, we're talking about a difference of only a few seconds, and in return you get excellent input responsiveness, a low call return delay that sits easily alongside the top performers. Coming in at 2nd place is the wireless adapter from Deerdance. This adapter is a bit of a dark horse and not one that is widely discussed, but it does punch well above its price. It's the only tethered adapter in this year's top 5, but performance-wise it's generally impressive. Call return delay is excellent, and touch and audio responsiveness are extremely close to the number 1 adapter in this list. Boot times into both CarPlay and Android Auto are strong, and on paper, it's a top performer. It features a similar IP config menu to the Bruxe U2, offering the all-important audio media delay, which you can tune and reduce input and audio lag, although its interface isn't quite as polished as the number 1 in this list. GPS and navigation pass-through work on both platforms, and whilst it runs on a Gen 6 Wi-Fi platform, its signal performance fluctuates toward the lower end of my test. However, real-world responsiveness remains solid. Availability may be more limited depending on where you live, but if you can pick up this adapter locally, it's the cheapest adapter in this top 5. That makes it outstanding value, provided you're happy with a more traditional, tethered plastic design. Taking the number 1 spot in my top 5 wireless adapter list for 2026 is the CarlinKit Mini Ultra 3. This is the most complete and refined adapter I've tested this year. And since my review, it's always been an adapter that I've commonly recommended to viewers on this channel. It sits in the middle price range, although discounts often bring it down to a much more competitive price. It's the smallest adapter in this top 5, offering a generally compact form factor compared to its peers. It also features the best IP configuration menu in this roundup, including the all-important audio delay tuning that allows you to fine-tune input and audio performance. Call return delay and touch responsiveness are excellent, making it the most consistent adapter to live with day to day. It's technically one of the slower adapters to boot into CarPlay in this top 5, but thanks to very fast Bluetooth pairing and strong Android Auto performance, its total connection time is only around 1 second behind the fastest overall. It supports GPS navigation pass-through on both platforms and runs on a Gen 6 Wi-Fi chipset. Whilst raw signal strength is average, real-world stability is strong. Its metal casing design improves durability, although it does retain heat for longer than plastic designs. It's USB-A only unless you use an adapter, but even with those compromises, the balance of availability, features, performance, and overall usability makes the CarlinKit Mini Ultra 3 the best wireless adapter overall this year. Before wrapping up, there are a few adapters that didn't quite make the top 5, but are still worth mentioning. First is the AA Wireless 2 Plus. From a software and configurability standpoint, this is one of the most mature adapters available. Multi-user support is absolutely excellent. The companion app with settings control is extensive. It runs cool even after long drives, and it delivered the strongest Wi-Fi signal performance in this entire test. The downside is speed. Boot times into CarPlay and Android Auto are noticeably slower than all the adapters in the top 5. However, once you're in there, the experience is very good. And at its higher price point, that ultimately holds it back. Next is the Minix CP85. It's getting much harder to buy this adapter these days, most likely because it's been discontinued. However, if you can get hold of one, it's still a very capable 2-in-1 adapter. It performs very well in both CarPlay and Android Auto, has top-tier Wi-Fi signal strength, and runs as one of the coolest adapters in long-term testing. If it were more widely available today, it likely would have been competitive in this year's top 5. And finally, the Autocast Mini. This one stands out for its thumb drive size design and simple physical switch button for multi-device support, which makes it ideal for any car vehicle that's shared between 2 drivers. Despite running on a Gen 4 Wi-Fi platform, signal performance is surprisingly strong. However, its limited IP configuration menu and slower call return and input responsiveness compared to the top 5 kept this adapter outside of the rankings. So while those adapters all have their strengths, when you balance boot speed, responsiveness, configurability, thermals, real-world stability and price, these 5 stood out the most in 2026. So if you want the cheapest, solid performer, the Deerdance wireless adapter is hard to ignore. If you want the fastest boot speed, the Linkifun RGB Nano still delivers. If you care about thermals and build quality, the Bruxe U2 wireless adapter definitely stands out. But if you want the most complete, refined experience overall, the CarlinKit Mini Ultra 3 is the safest recommendation. Alright, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this top 5 list for 2026. To celebrate this roundup and the start of this year's content, from today I've opened the ability to become a CarPlayLife member on this channel. If you want deeper insight into my testing and how these adapters actually perform, becoming a member gives you the access to my live test datasheet, access to early videos and members only content. There are 3 simple tiers to choose from showing your basic support to the channel through to full live datasheet access. Click the join button below this video if you'd like to learn more. Alright, thanks again for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. If it has, please leave a like down below and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about any of the adapters that I featured in this video. If you'd like to support me, you can do so by sending us a super thanks down below on YouTube. You can hype this video to raise my channel and this video to other people that might not have found it yet. And you can also check out my QR code here to buy me a coffee. You can support me there too. I really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.